Okay, so this is just going to be a quick analysis and history of the FISA court. We'll start up with a quote from Obama, June 2013. What I can say unequivocally is that if you are a U.S. person, the NSA cannot listen to your telephone calls by law and by rule unless they go to a court, obtain a warrant, and seek probable cause. The same way it's always been, the same way when we were growing up and when we were watching movies. You want to go set up a wiretap, you've got to go to a judge and show probable cause. And then I'm just going to read a quick quote from the Federal Judicial Center.gov website, so straight from the horse's mouth. Congress in 1978 established the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court as a special court and authorized the Chief Justice of the United States to designate federal court judges to review applications for warrants related to national security investigations. The provisions for this court were part of the Federal Intelligence Surveillance Act, which required the government, before it commenced certain acts of intelligence gathering operations within the United States, to obtain a judicial warrant similar to that required in a criminal investigation. So basically a few attributes of this court would be absolutely no congressional oversight. It is considered to be parallel to the Supreme Court with issues relating to, but not limited to, national security. And judges for the court are only appointed by the Supreme Court Chief Justice. So that is how they are selected. So let's get into the meat of this. The FISA court was created in 1978 in the wake of the Watergate revelations about the executive branch spying on domestic dissidents, most notoriously dissidents like MLK, but also other domestic enemies of the state from all political backgrounds. The secret FISA court was designated to protect individual liberties as the government, quote, protects them from foreign dangers without having to play ball under congressional oversight. As previously quoted from the .gov website, the court was initially supposed to act as a buffer to provide some degree of protection for an individual's privacy while maintaining national security. When the court was created, it was meant to authorize targeted searches on individuals. But sometime around 2004, with the new interpretation of the Patriot Act, it began to issue general warrants for bulk seizures of communications, blah blah blah, you know the story. When it's time for the NSA to obtain a FISA court approval, the agency does not tell the court whose calls, emails, pictures, or chats it intends to intercept. It instead merely provides the general guidelines in which it claims are used by its analysts to determine which individuals they can target. And the FISA court judge then issues a simple order approving those guidelines. No other court, including the Supreme Court, monitors what the NSA is actually doing when it claims to comply with the court-approved procedures. Once the FISA court puts an approval stamp on the NSA's procedures, there is no external judge nor congressional check on which targets end up being selected by the NSA, as long as they meet the vague guidelines. So in other words, anybody. So a few examples, maybe Occupy leftists calling for accountable government, or the new enemy, the main enemy it seems to be, the Christian gun owner that has their radical idea of unalienable rights, or God-given rights, or natural rights, whatever you want to call them, that cannot be taken away by a government. Which means Obama is not only a Nobel Prize winning war criminal, but also an absolute liar. Many lawyers have compared the secret FISA court to the court of Old England known as the Star Chamber. You should look this up if you don't know much about it. In which court sessions were held in secret with no indictments and no witnesses. The Star Chamber was meant to be a way of holding powerful people accountable, but ultimately, in the same way as the FISA court, was used as a tool of oppression against its political enemies, and it was abolished by the Habeas Corpus Act of 1640. So I really want to reiterate this. The FISA courts are secret courts interpreting laws however they please was with absolutely no scrutiny from the public. I just don't think that people talk enough about the FISA court. I hear a lot of people complaining about the NSA, yet I hear no one really confronting the idea of this secret court. I think it really shows how far we've come as a people. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like so others can see it. Feel free to leave your comments below, and I will try to get back to you. Thank you.